Brian,
Yes.
do you want to be the very best? The best that ever was?
Of course. I want to be the very best.
No one ever was. Dun, dun, dun. Isaac, join in. Join in. Give him the microphone. Put it in his face.
I'm lost. No idea.
No? You never sang the
been
anime?
26 years since I watched the anime.
Why do I feel so old now?
Because I'm 31.
I'm
I watched
30.
that when I was 5.
Oh my. Okay.
Sometimes when me and my family go on adventures in the car, we play the Pokemon theme music.
I will
And
sing
gets-
it randomly.
Yes, and it just gets us jacked.
I will sing the other anime. I'm listening, or I'm watching the animes as we go along. Anyway, who wants to say it?
Cue the music.
Say it louder.
Cue the music.
There we go. Alright, welcome to Don't Evolve Me, the place like Ash, Catch and Pikachu. We don't evolve, we just level up. And that intro saying makes sense for this episode because we're talking about Pokemon. This is our video game nostalgia episode where we talk about Pokemon. Not just Pokemon, though. We're talking Pokemon Fire Red. Or we're talking about Pokemon Red. Gen 1. Blue. Yellow. We're also talking about Gen 2 a little bit. Gold. Silver. Crystal. And you know what? We won't talk Gen 3. I feel like at that point we were just too old at that point. We're trying to be the cool kid, and Pokemon wasn't cool at that point, so we played Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's a whole other episode. We have guests Brian Miller.
Hello.
Isaac Lombard.
Hello.
Both Pokemon nerds in their own right. I feel like we're all different Pokemon nerds, too. Because we have classic Pokemon nerd here, Isaac Lombard.
Yes, sir.
He's all about the Gen 1 Fire Red. Then we have Brian Miller over here, who's a mixture of all. And then me, who played the new games, but mostly in the Pokemon Go at this point. Wait, Brian, would you say you're more in the Pokemon cards?
Then you two?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I probably have more interest in the Pokemon card collecting than you guys right now.
I would agree. All right, so before we get into it, I kind of want to get into the intros right away, and then we'll jump into Pokemon. All right, so Show Me Your Wares is a segment that I have. So what I have on the day is my Pokemon hat, my Ash Ketchum Pokemon hat. And then I have my Pokemon shirt that's just a giant Pokeball. Brian has a nerdy attire.
Very nerdy.
You have it's very contrast. Your whole outfit just is just different in each section.
It is so comfortable.
You want to move the mic too so you can... All
Yes.
right. So Brian, what do you have on?
Right now I'm wearing some Pokemon pajama pants that features Pikachu, Squirtle, and Jigglypuff.
Nice.
And I'm also wearing a Trevor Lawrence NFL football jersey.
With a very boring cap on.
Yes.
And you have like 3 different looks going on, and I'm not hating on it.
The thing is, it matches. And again,
does it?
So
That
comfortable.
doesn't match.
I don't think, what is that, beige, brown,
People
black?
would be very
This hat?
confused.
Yeah.
Okay, the hat is gray, but
Like, it goes with if it's fine with the jersey, it's
Yes.
fine. I wouldn't say it matches, but it blends at least. But then once you have your pajamas, it just doesn't work.
yep.
I mean, you can look at me and say, well, I would say I match a little bit, because at least I have Pokemon red, and then I have black shorts on. But black just works. And then we have Isaac over here, who's just Under Armour everything.
Under Armour, everything. All the time.
It's not really nerdy. It's more
Peak
just brand.
comfort.
Is that a pink water bottle? With
No,
a
it's
monkey on it.
orange.
It
With
looks-
a monkey and Olaf. I got kids.
Is that kids or is that your wife's?
Kids.
It looks more like a salmon color.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely
salmon
salmon.
orange.
And then we just did our Pokemon draft. And we did our Pokemon draft before this because I didn't want to tip them off of which Pokemon I just love to have on our team. So in front of us, we have just a little bit of our teams, of our Pop Funko Pops. If you guys want to check out the draft, please check out that episode. It's either coming out before or after, but not too far from this episode. All right. Another segment we like to do is what are you nerding out on? Isaac, you already know your answer, but let's talk about it.
Well, I'm between two currently: fantasy football and Pokemon Fire Red.
Yep, let's talk Fire Red.
Fire Red it's a lot of fun. It brings me back to being 6 years old again.
I enjoy playing that game.
It's a blast. I remember the struggles of playing it as a 6-year-old with a Game Boy that didn't have a light. So every time it got dark, you either had to keep the light on until you could save up and buy the Game Boy light. And then Game Boy Color came out, and everything changed. I would play until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night when I was supposed to be sleeping, just to try to get one more gym complete.
All right. Let's save that a little bit later on. But Fire Red, you're nerding out on, and as well as fantasy football. Brian, what are you nerding out on? I know you have a lot of different tastes.
Yes.
On top of kids.
Yes.
All three of us have kids.
Yep. So similar to Isaac, nerding out on fantasy football right now. We have a rookie draft going on that we're both taking part in, and then
you're up. And you're up too. I'm hoping we have time to do a little bit of fantasy.
Yep, I'm currently on the clock, but it's a slow draft, so all good. I would say that I am in the process of nerding out in Pokemon collecting, Pokemon card collecting.
Yeah. We're going to be streaming live. This is actually, when this episode comes out, it's like 10 days later.
Yeah.
But you guys will see it on the YouTube page of Don't Evolve Me. We're doing the card opening.
Yeah.
I'm participating in the opening, but I'm not participating in the collecting. I'm just going to jealously look at all your great pulls.
Well, the thing with card opening is you have to let your friends open packs with you. It's part of the good
That's
juju.
the fun.
Yeah, and it's good juju.
It is good juju. I have good juju. And then the bad juju is on the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
He's TikToking on top of teams' logos.
Yep.
Does he still do that? I feel like he stopped once he was in Kansas City.
The last thing I saw, he was wearing like some scandalous outfit, and everyone was making fun of him or something.
I mean, that's a lot of athletes these days.
Yeah.
At least he's not pulling like a Kanye and
right.
Who's wearing like shoulder pads out in public.
Yeah. So to hit on the Pokemon card collecting a little bit more, so one of my goals I think that I really want to pursue is I want to trade or maybe sell some of my higher value Yu-Gi-Oh cards and start collecting the original 151 Pokemon cards from the base set.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm nerding on in New Vegas, hardcore. I think that's what I've been saying the last like 2 or 3 podcasts is Fallout New Vegas. Just bought it for Steam and I can play it on my laptop. So I've just been chilling downstairs and watching something on TV while playing Fallout New Vegas. I enjoy the Bethesda games. I was playing Skyrim before and then I was playing Legend of Zelda. Kind of cooled off on Legend of Zelda a little bit. We're watching Breaking Bad. We're about to finish it. We're on season 5. Still a great show. And then, Fire Red I was playing a little bit. I got to the point where I need to grind for the Elite Four. Team wasn't quite strong enough there. Got to get my Dragonair up to a Dragonite. It's, it's tough.
I only lost to the Final Four once going into it.
I lost once too, and I realized my team was not ready.
Oh, then I just beat it the second time right afterwards.
All right, let's get into a news quickie, and then let's talk more about these games.
Oh, Jake, can I tell you one more thing that our family's nerding out on here?
Yes, do it.
So a little shout out to my kids, but they've been obsessed with playing the Nintendo Switch. And
yeah, they have.
Yeah, so they've been playing a lot of like the Super Mario games, like Super Mario Odyssey and 3D World. For a while, we were playing Super Smash Bros. Too.
Yep.
And those kids, I tell you, they can kick my butt. And
it's begun already?
Yes.
How old is your oldest?
So Braxton's 5, and Beckett's 3.
Okay.
And
I guess I can't say shit because I remember your little brother Bradley, who's not little anymore.
Right.
When he was like somewhere between 6 and 9, we played him in Call of Duty, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we were going 3 against 1. He was the 1." And I was like, why are we doing this? We got this, right? No, we didn't fucking have shit.
Yeah.
He just camped in a building and just picked us off every time we got close.
Yep.
Is this what Braxton's doing to you?
Well, so in Super Smash Bros, they each have their characters that they like and they're good with. Beckett loves to play with Link. Because he has the sword and stuff, and I think he just thinks he's a really cool character.
Yeah, Link's pretty dope.
Yeah, and Braxton just knows like the OP characters to use to beat you.
Who does he play with?
They both like to play with Ganondorf, and if he gets his charge move off against you, he just sends you flying straight off the map.
I think one of the Pikachu is like one that I played with a lot. Very underrated Smash Bros. At least the newest one.
Yep.
That Thunder move.
Yep.
I used to like playing with like Incineroar and Lucario and Greninja. Like I would play with those three. No, Pikachu's better.
Yeah.
And then if you're just going through the playthrough, Kirby just smashes all.
Yep.
Kirby's a good play.
Yep. Another really strong character in that game is Meta Knight.
Ooh, yeah. Just he got nerfed a little bit with Melee.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, in Melee he was like the ultimate. Like if you like they banned him in tournaments. Like that's how OP he was.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do a little news quickie. It's time for a news quickie. Oh yeah. All right. For the news, I wonder if you guys heard about this. There's going to be an adult Barney film happening. Made for millennials. PG-13, like Barbie. What's your thoughts on that? Just the idea of an adult Barney film.
Well, is it going to be like the horror Winnie the Pooh movie?
No. No. This is... the idea that I got of it was going to be like it's going to be like the Barbie film, or it's kind of more meta, because Barbie's PG-13. It's made for those who grew up with Barbie. It's made for the adults who grew up with Barbie, and Barney is going to be like for the millennial angst that we had as adults. And I actually really like this concept of a Barney coming up to a bunch of 30-year-olds, be like, "I love you, you love me," and it's like, "Shut the fuck up, Barney."
Yeah, that'll be interesting, and I feel like I'm obligated to go to it since like I was a Barney kid.
I was also a Barney kid. Isaac.
Was not a Barney kid.
Not a Barney kid?
No, not really. I was more of a Sesame Street kid.
Oh, okay. Would you go to an adult Sesame Street?
I watch Sesame Street often with my two kids. So
maybe a PG adult themed Sesame Street. That would I would be into that.
Recently saw the Mario movie, which was fantastic.
Oh, nice. I watched it twice. I took Scott to it. First movie he's been to. He doesn't understand that you can't go to every movie. So after we were done, he didn't have enough. He wanted to go to every movie theater. He kept breaking it. I'm like, dude, stop. Like, I know you don't know how this works, but we can't just go. We got to pay for the other ones. And I'm not going to tell you that you don't have to as long as you sneak in, but we got to go. It's past your bedtime. All right, other news. Pokemon Sleep is a new game. It's like $60. It's an app where it tracks your sleep, and it's a whole game. You play Pokemon while you're sleeping. And if you get a full night's rest, you get more points.
Oh, so is this like
It's a Pokemon Go thing, too.
Yeah, okay. So similar concept to like Pokemon Go, where they want you to get out and be active, except for...
They want you to get good rest.
Now the goal is to get good sleep.
Yeah. Be active and get good... They're just looking... Pokemon's just looking out for our well-being.
That's right.
Other news, Deadpool photos revealed. I will show you guys if I can find it. Ryan Reynolds has showed the new costume. It leaked. If I can find it. I saved it. And I cannot find it. Of course not. There's new photos out. It looks very similar to the first ones. Why? I did not have this prepared beforehand. Where are you? Nope, I don't know where it is. Anyway, moving on.
So there's going to be a third Deadpool movie, correct?
Yep, with Hugh Jackman in it.
Yeah, yep.
The rumor is that... So Jennifer Gardner is also rumored to be in this movie as Elektra 20 years later. So the big theory on this is it's going to be, instead of Deadpool kills Marvel, which is a huge storyline in the comics where he kills all the Marvel characters, it's Deadpool kills the Fox universe.
Okay.
So the rumor plot is have any of you watched Loki?
A little bit. Yeah.
So there's this organization in Loki. It's called the TVA, which is any person who does what they're not supposed to do and the whole like their destiny thing, and they create like a separate timeline. They prune it, get rid of it. So the rumor is that Deadpool is going to work with the TVA to get rid of this Fox universe.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the rumor plot, and he's going to kill the Fox universe. And like Magneto's supposed to be in it. I don't know which one, but Magneto's supposed to be in it. Now Jennifer Gardner is supposed to be in it.
Can you remind me what the Fox universe is?
Fox universe, X-Men.
Okay, yep.
X-Men, Fantastic Four, Daredevil, I believe, was Fox too. They bought a bunch of characters.
Okay, I can see that.
All right, and then the last little bit of news. Have you guys ever watched Invincible?
Nope.
So it's an Amazon show based off. You can see one of the comics up there. Arguably one of the greatest comics I've ever read. The maker of Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman, wrote Invincible. He has there's a show now called on Amazon Prime called Invincible. Season 1 already went out. It's a huge hit. Recommend it. Easy watch. Easy 8 episodes.
Yep.
Season 2 is supposed to come out this year. And there was a tweet that they had it was like the set of numbers. It's like 7/24/23, which are like, oh, that's the date. It's coming out that date. Bad news, it's not coming out. I was hyping up. I was like, oh yes, it's coming out in July. No, it's happening though later this year. All right, let's get into Pokemon. So I want to talk first experiences, because I feel like Pokemon is like one of those franchises that I think everyone in our age hit. And it hit at the same time because it just exploded.
Yep.
And I kind of just want to talk about our experiences and kind of relive that nostalgia of what we went through. What was our first game? What was our first Pokemon card? What was our first journey like? Who was our first starter?
All right.
I also want to talk about I had Maven choose her first starter too. If you guys saw the video. I know you commented on it.
Certainly did. She chose right.
She chose Charmander. I was hoping for Squirtle. She started leaning Squirtle and then was like, nah, let's go Charmander.
Yep.
Bulbous. At one point, like afterwards, she had all three in her hand, and then she just like chucked away Bulbasaur, carried Squirtle, and Charmander. I was like, yeah, Squirtle can be here, and then this is all about Charmander.
So I mean, like, she did what literally all of us tried to do in the original games. We had to pick our first one, and then we'd try to go get the other ones, but they wouldn't let us pick the other ones off the table.
The funny thing is, I played Yellow first.
Yeah.
That was the first game I played. So Pikachu was technically my first starter, but that was not by choice.
Yeah.
So I had to get all three of the. I did get all three, which is why I love Yellow so much. Is you have the ability to get all the Mons.
Yeah.
So tell me what you guys' first experience.
First game I played was Fire Red, and
Right,
obviously had to go with Charizard because he's on the cover of the game.
I think when I bought Fire Red, I think I went Charizard because I'm like, I can't not do the cover Pokemon.
Right. Yep. Same exact thing.
I like to say Squirtle was my first choice, but I'm pretty sure I did Charmander in my first playthrough.
It's hard to remember.
It is.
It's a long time back to think.
I just know it wasn't Bulbasaur.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever started with Bulbasaur.
I have. In like a random playthrough.
It would make the first two gyms much easier.
It would.
But
and also you don't like the only other grass type that I'm like, I kind of would want is Execute.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's like, I don't. Yeah, there's Alakazam.
Right. I wish.
If you could trade.
Yeah.
Right. You had to get a trading link.
Oh. I got it right here.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
But trying to convince your parents to buy you a $20 trading link
Back in the 90s.
back in the 90s was impossible.
It was. I had to save up my allowance, so my allowance just went down. Thank you, Cord.
So, I think one of my core Pokemon memories, this one isn't related to the games, but my very first 2 packs of Pokemon cards that I ever had, like, I was in school, I saw all my friends in school had Pokemon cards or whatever, and I came home from school one day, and my mom surprised me with 2 packs of Pokemon cards, my very first 2 packs. And so, like, I opened...
Your mom was nice.
Yeah, very nice.
She's a very nice lady.
Yeah. And so, like, she did the whole mom thing where she opened them up, and she was taunting me with them.
What? Okay, I take it back. That's not, that is nice.
Yeah. But, yeah, so she opened up the first pack, and she, like, looked through them. She's, like, making all the noises, like, ooh, look at this one. And, like, in that first pack, I got Squirtle, I remember, and I got War Turtle. Yeah. So I was like, and then, you know, after she went through them, she gave me the cards, and I was looking through them, and, like, as I was talking, I was talking to myself, and I was like, oh, all I need is Blastoise. You know, if I have Blastoise, I have the last one. And she was opening up the second pack, and she's like, oh, do you mean this one? And it was a Blastoise. A holographic Blastoise.
God damn. Yep. Nice.
Yep.
That's a cool first memory. My first Pokemon card, I didn't buy a pack right away. Same experience. All my peers were into Pokemon. Everyone was into Pokemon back then. I think I was in daycare still, in like preschool, kindergarten. And I really wanted Pokemon cards, you know, to fit in with my peers. And so we were at a store called Once Upon a Child, and this was like the little location, and they were selling individual Pokemon cards. And I like begged my mom, and they were just selling one card. And she said, "You can buy." She's like, "Fine." She gave in. She's like, "You can get one." And the first one that showed up, I was like, I just wanted that one because I knew nothing at this point. I'm just like, I just want Pokemon cards. I want to be included with this. And the very first one was Diglett. So when you took Diglett in the draft, I might be spoiling the draft a little bit.
That's okay.
I was like, Diglett. I have a special place for Diglett because he was my first card.
Yeah,
that's fair. I don't remember opening my first packs, but I do remember that for Christmas, my mom's mom, so my grandma and grandpa, would give all the kids 2 packs of Pokemon cards. But there was 20 of us, so there was lots of Pokemon cards getting opened, and immediately trying to trade people for whatever cards they pulled that I needed. This is at 5-6 years old.
This sounds like you. You are... This sounds... If someone's like, oh yeah, someone's trying to make a trade with you, I'm like, oh, is it Isaac? I don't even know if he's in that room, but it just sounds like an Isaac thing to do.
It's accurate. I do remember one of the last Pokemon I needed to finish off my 151 original set was Chansey. And we had just moved into our new house in October. And for Christmas, we each got Pokemon cards. And my sister actually opened up a Chansey.
Ooh.
And we immediately had to trade for it. So I don't remember what I gave up, but I'm pretty sure I got the good end of the deal, as I always do.
I had horrible trades. So I had a bunch of Pokemon cards. And my cousin Corey, which I don't know if you know.
I know Corey Frisbee.
I know you know Corey. I don't know if Brian knows Corey. I feel like you know of him, maybe.
Faintly, yeah.
Yeah. So he gave me, shout out to my cousin Corey. He gave me all, like, his whole collection, other than Mew. He didn't give me Mew, which included all the legendary birds.
Nice.
But the one card I didn't have, and he was my favorite because I just watched this episode on the anime, which was Sabrina kicking ass with a Kadabra. And I'm like, that is the Pokemon I need. And somebody made an offer. I'll give you my Kadabra for your Articuno. I wish this was on camera. You should see Isaac's. Yeah, I made that trade, and I thought I won that trade. I told my cousin excitedly, and he chewed my ass out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he took the cards within a week later because...
If you're not aware, that would be like giving a pebble that you found on the side of a road for a diamond ring.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the diamond ring would be a Charizard at this point.
At this point, sure. But back then...
Yeah. It was a bad trade.
I
But
found
I'm like,
this piece of sand on the beach,
But-
and I would like your $50 value, please.
but when you're a kid who has no idea about value, has no idea trading, you're just like, I just really like Kadabra.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, of course it's a great trade. I got what I wanted.
Everyone ended happy. So
They did. And then later I'm on like,
one just way happier.
You could have told your cousin, I mean, I got this psychic fox guy. Like, why would I want this bird Pokemon? Like,
who needs a legend? I got Kadabra. He can evolve to Alakazam, and he's like the best mon in this.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah. It's, that was like my main core memory of Pokemon cards. I don't ever remember building a deck then. I just like collecting.
I've never played the game. I've never played the card game.
No?
Nope.
Oh man, we may have to, well, I don't even know if we have time to play. We might have to play at some point.
Collected all the cards, played the video games, watched the series. Never played the card game.
I didn't play the game until later. It's been a few years when I actually like dove into the game and like started learning how to play the game, and I'm like, oh, this is different than all the other games. It's different than Yu-Gi-Oh! It's different than Magic.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it more, but it definitely has its own uniqueness to it.
Yeah. The nostalgia would be there for me, which is why I would possibly do it. But
No trap cards though.
Yeah.
It's the fun part of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like when you play like base Yu-Gi-Oh!
yeah.
Where like, I'm gonna attack your monster, and you're like,
Mirror
but-
Force.
trap card.
Magical cylinders, you lose.
All right, so let's talk about the games a little bit. So my first game was Yellow. That was the first game I ever played, and I remember Brock being a bitch to get around. I did not know how to beat Brock.
Just the worst.
But he's just the worst in Yellow because he's strong. Like all the leaders are stronger.
Yep.
And you have a Pikachu. How are you supposed to beat Onyx?
You have to quick attack 27 times.
Yeah.
Wait, is there enough PP for that?
I don't know.
I'm like, wait, is quick attack 25 or 40? I don't remember.
I forget a little bit. Did Brock's Onyx use Harden in battle?
I think so.
Yeah, which made it worse.
Yeah, Brock was tough. I couldn't get past, and I was like, how do you beat this motherfucker? Obviously, I wasn't saying mother. Well, no, I was like 6 then. I wasn't using the words properly, but I was swearing in the bathroom. You hear things. But how do you beat this motherfucker? Like, how do you beat Onyx with a Pikachu? And eventually you learn. You hear from people, and you're like, oh, you just get a Mankey.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I think you can go a little further past the town, in at least maybe in Yellow version, and you can get a Mankey or something, right?
No, Mankey's...
You can get a Mankey beforehand.
Yeah, you get Mankey's by Viridian City, right? No,
Yeah.
Vermilion City.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no, Vermilion is Lieutenant Surge. Viridian, I believe, is the after Pallet Town,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, right?
I think that's right, yep.
Yeah, so...
No, you could get him. He just starts out as a level 2.
Right.
And trying to train up a level 2.
Or you get one of the Nidorans. I think in Yellow you can get a Nidoran, too. I think that's actually what I did, and you can learn low kick or double kick.
And hope you get 3 kicks out of the double kick.
Yeah. So tough, though. As a kid, though, as a 6-year-old, you're like...
So frustrating.
And it's not like it's... with emulators now, everything's fast. Like, I think...
The battle animation was so slow.
So slow. I bought Pokemon Yellow. You guys have already heard this. Bought Pokemon Yellow for 3DS. And I couldn't play it because it was just so slow. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, the ADHD kicks in for me a little bit.
Same.
I'm like, all right, get through this animation, please.
That's why emulators is so nice when you have like the 2-4 times.
Yeah.
And I would say Fire Red and Leaf Green. Those 2 games are great to play through with like on your phone.
Yeah.
And Emerald too. Actually, I think Emerald's a more superior game, but it's not as nostalgic.
I was kind of thinking about this earlier today, and I feel like one of the things that made the original Pokemon games like so good was like the music.
Oh, yeah.
Like you turn the music up a little bit, like you're on a quest, and it kind of like kept you going.
You felt like you were actually in the show.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. You know, like the action. You definitely get pumped up.
Yeah.
One of the newer games I think does this really, really well is Sword and Shield. Isaac, you won't know this. So in gyms, they kind of create this as like a soccer type inspiration, which I actually love because I feel like that would be the most realistic way you would have this. So you have to sign up, you have to have your like jersey, you have a jersey number, and you go into these gyms, and it's a huge freaking stadium. And so when you're battling the gym leader, you have all these people watching, and you have like soccer like music, and there's chanting going on, and it's just like the greatest. It's arguably better than like Gen 1 music,
Right.
just because it just hypes you up. And then when you have to go through, instead of like the Elite Four, it's like an actual championship, like tournament style. They switch it to the music. It's not as great. It's still good, but I'm like, oh, give me that gym music. Give me that like chanting.
Right.
But I will say, Gen 1 though, it does, that music gets you going.
And I liked the moments in the game when like something intense would be happening, and then that like intense music would start playing, and like it kind of like, I don't know, got your anxiety up a little bit. Like, I'm not gonna catch the Zapdos because he's gonna like die or something. Or,
you know what? The parts I remember that I hated the most, but also loved the most. Like I have a lot of fond memories. Mount Moon in the Rock Tunnel. Because like once you're in the middle of it, you're like, shit, I either have to like get through this or die.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way out.
Yeah, unless you have an escape rope. But at the time, I didn't think about that.
Right, and like you said, we were 6 years old. We weren't planning ahead.
Or like trying to get Flash. And
I was
like,
going to say, you ever go into it without Flash and try to get through it?
oh, I've done it several times.
It's awful.
It's a bitch to do, but I've done it.
Man, it's a nightmare.
I've like learned how to do it without Flash. And then I'm like, wait, why did I do this? Why don't I just go back and get Flash, teach a Pokemon how to do it, and then get rid of that Pokemon later on? But yeah, Rock Tunnel, goddamn.
Yeah, very tough.
What's your favorite parts of the first game? Like the moments where you're like, yeah, this is the part that I wanted to do. And you can relive like with Fire Red a little bit because that game is just pure nostalgia.
I think for me, like, finding and catching the legendary birds is like one of the coolest parts of the game. Cause like you either catch them or they get away and you can't catch them. So you got, like, back then, obviously, you got to save your game before you go into your battle. And if you don't know that, you could get totally unlucky, you know.
Did you guys ever have it happen where you're an hour to 3 hours into playing it, and then you come across one of the legendary birds, and you kill them?
Yep.
And you have to restart from 3 hours prior.
No, I'm 6-year-old me was like, fuck that bird.
No.
Fuck that bird.
I closed the game down, pulled the game out of the back of the Game Boy, because that was the only way that I knew how to do it. And started back up 3 hours prior. I probably quit the game for 2 weeks at that time.
Yeah.
Just because I was so mad.
That sounds like an ADHD thing to do too.
And
like...
just set it down and said, I'll come back to that later. And then you come back and you have to go through everything you just went through to find them again. And that was very frustrating.
Or just forgetting the save and shutting off your Game Boy.
Or having your batteries die.
That too.
That was fun.
Or you get to your location, your mom or dad is like, hey, let's go. And you're like, I gotta save. Stop. Give me like 2 minutes. Jake, we're at church. I gotta save.
It was really nice not having to worry about Wi-Fi or signals or anything, though. Like,
yeah.
You could just play wherever. You're on drive out to South Dakota, and you just play your game, not having to worry about service.
Not having light, though, sucks. Like,
it was terrible.
It is like
I remember the first Game Boy. I had the little blue one with like the cord on it. That was pretty cool.
I had the color, but the color didn't have the backlight in it. They just had the SP is the first one with the backlight, which I actually have right here too. Oh wait, I don't know where it is. I don't have it. I think. We gave it to Scott to use, and he gets his hands on it somewhere. It just disappears. He found you guys remember Burger King? When they sold like with the Happy Meals, they had like the gold toys that you could get, the gold little coins. He found the Jigglypuff that I had.
Nice.
I don't know where it is. He found it, and I was like, it was in the plastic case it comes in, and it was like half in a case, and the other case is gone. I'm like, well, fuck, all right. And then, like, after I found it, I just left it there, and then it was just gone. I'm like, all right, this thing's just somewhere around here.
Laying out in the backyard somewhere.
I hope it's not the backyard. He keeps most things in the house.
Yeah, so Isaac just, like, jogged a memory. So, like, with the batteries and stuff, like, man, the struggle was real. Like, you could be in a grind with Brock or, like, a gym leader or battling a legendary bird, and, like, your batteries could start dying.
Your screen would start fading.
Yeah.
And there's no way to stop it.
Yeah. Or, like, your mom would be like, hey, like, it's time to go. Shut it off. Pause it. I can't pause it.
There is no pause. It's now or never. Well, it's never then. Oh, that was like the worst. My parents eventually were like, all right, like they'll like let me know. Like they learned to like, hey Jake, wrap it up. Like, do we need to do? So we're gonna get there in like 2 minutes. So my parents, they did learn eventually. They were accommodating at least towards the end of it. I remember going back to Pokemon cards. Shout out to my dad a little bit. He always hated when I bought Pokemon cards because he wanted to teach me the value of $1.
Right.
And he hated it because anytime I got $3, I bought it on Pokemon cards. He's like, why are you doing this? Like, you could save up for stuff. Like, why would I save up? I just want Pokemon cards. I want nothing else but Pokemon cards. I am saving up for Pokemon cards.
Right.
And you know what the first thing I ever saved up for? A Game Boy Color. Where I can buy the Game Boy with the game Yellow, which is right here on the table. I don't even think it works anymore.
Right.
Like a lot of these games where I'll put them in and they don't save.
Oh, so sad.
It is really sad. Well, that's why you have emulators and you have, I'm really hoping that Switch, Nintendo, they put it, because they have now Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance games, and Game Boy games. I hope eventually they just put Pokemon on there.
That would be cool.
Like, that would just be the dopest thing you can do, especially if you put it, like, we wouldn't need emulators if we had the access to the Switch games. Obviously, if you don't have a Switch, which, Isaac, I don't think you do. Not yet. Would this make you reconsider, though?
Oh, we've already talked about getting one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But would this make you want it more if Pokemon was available on...
Oh, yeah, I would love to be able to play it on a Switch versus my phone.
There you go, Nintendo. Do the thing. Do the obvious thing.
Did you guys ever, like, bring your Game Boys out to, like, recess and, like, battle and trade with other kids at recess? Or was it outlawed by the time you were able to?
Yeah, I could not bring mine to school.
Your parents wouldn't let you?
No,
my parents. School wouldn't let me.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, so, like...
I got enough trouble with trading cards.
I remember for a little while... we could bring our stuff out to, like, recess, and, like, I remember, like, doing some trades or, like, some kids helping me with some things in the game, and then I think it just kind of got, like, too big of a problem, and then they made it, like, against the rules, and they wouldn't let you do it anymore.
Did you guys buy the book? Did you get the book?
Oh, here's the thing. Here's the cool advantage I had as a kid. My dad worked at Quebecor.
Oh, yeah.
And so, that's a huge printing press in St. Cloud. Was a huge printing press. And they printed all the Pokemon books.
No way.
So I got free Pokemon books for a good portion of my childhood. Yeah. So I got Crystal, which is here. I got that one. I don't think I ever got Kanto, but I did get Crystal for free, and I get a few other books for free.
Yeah. Man, that's the best part of playing the emulator now. Is you don't know how to do something, you just Google it.
Right, yeah.
Man, 31-year-old Isaac loves playing it now. I can watch a YouTube video. I can minimize the YouTube video and play the game at the same time and watch both of them in live time. It's fantastic.
Like I
had to do that to get to get through dotted cave to get to Sapphire so that you can unlock Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know how 6-year-old me figured that out.
I don't. Yeah.
Right. No. Yeah. Like back then.
You went to GameStop or other game stores that had it, and you're like, let me quickly learn this information real quick.
Can't take a picture quick.
Yeah, because you don't have a
cell
phone.
phones.
Well, they did, but like not.
Back then, computers were like barely even a thing. Like
I didn't have a computer until like 2000.
Yeah, we kind of had like dial-up some places, maybe, but
yeah.
Dial-up, kids, is you had a phone that was hooked into your wall. You don't remember this. It wasn't a cell phone. And when someone called, it disconnected you from the internet.
I don't think kids are listening to this. Yeah. Most of my viewers are older. Maybe. Dial-up internet where you have to wait minutes, if not hours, for your site to show up. I remember Spider-Man 3 came out, and I waited 3 hours when the trailer came out because I wanted to see Venom. And it didn't even like upload on it right away. And then someone called in the middle of it. Fucking grandma. Love you, grandma.
Yeah, but like back then, like the struggle was real. Like if you didn't have like the book like you did, like you had to sit there and go to every single person in the game, talk to every person in the game, and like try to stumble. And then like you kind of heard like rumors from your friends about like how to like get through this part of the game.
That was the fun part of it.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Or just learning on your own, where you like as a kid. So here's the thing I hate about Pokemon games now, because you don't have that problem now.
Right.
With like Sword and Shield is the biggest the biggest
like flaw.
Yeah, well, it's like the biggest game that did this, where like it literally just like, hey, you have to go here, you have to go here, you have to go here, you have to do this, and it's like 10 minutes of cutscene, and I'm like, how about you just fuck off and let me play?
Right, yeah.
Like is there an option where I can skip all this? Because like I would rather just figure it out on my own. Where like the early games, you had to figure all that on your own. You had to figure it out, and it was a struggle. And sure, it made me turn off the game plenty of times. Like it took me months to figure out Yellow,
right?
Because I couldn't get past Brock. But when I figured it out, now it's a huge core memory.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that's how you beat Brock. You just need a fighting type move.
Yeah, and like the puzzle aspects of those games were like tricky and like were really rewarding. Like when you finally got through it. Like, when you get to the ice cave to get Articuno or whatever.
When you struggle through the caves and you just find it.
Yeah, because like there's parts where you have to like surf through, and I think you have to move boulders and stuff, right?
Yep.
Through and drop them through like holes or something.
Phone islands.
Yeah. And then like
hated that portion of it.
There's
I skipped it.
I think there's like the power plant was kind of like a little bit of a maze or something.
A little bit, but not too bad. Moltres was in Victory Road, right?
Yes, Moltres was in Victory Road. Zapdos was in the power plant.
Moltres was like the easiest one to find.
Yeah, yep. Oh, another part of that game was like the big supermarket place where Team Rocket was. You had to like go through, I think there was like panels that like spun you off in different ways.
Yeah, the game zone.
Yep.
Oh, and going back to the question. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
The question of like favorite part. My favorite part of the game is because you said legendary birds. I don't think you answered, Isaac.
Favorite part of the game? It's tough for me to figure out the favorite. I mean, I think my favorite and then immediately the most aggravating part of the game was beating Lance the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought I won. And I have one Pokemon with no health left, and I walk through the door. Now I have to face my nemesis. And I go from being super ecstatic to immediately pissed off. All within like 30 seconds of each other. Yeah, because it was a grind, right?
Or not Lance.
Lance. Yeah. And I'm not going to use any of my items. I don't need to. I'll just figure out what happens from here. And then, figuring out that I have one more to beat because it's the final 5, not the final 4.
Yeah.
Final and 4 just being so angry.
Elite 4.
Right. That's probably my most immediately happy and then just pissed off 30 seconds later.
Oh, yeah. When you finally beat Lance, you're like, yes. You know,
because I finally did it.
Because 2 Dragonites.
Yeah.
I remember, do you guys remember, if you didn't have the book at the time, writing down like your lineup and their lineup and what Pokemons to use and what moves that you needed to make sure you had. It was a grind beating him the first time. Yeah, I remember being so happy.
I remember beating Yellow for the first time. It was so like it was like that moment where like I beat it. Mm-hmm. And Yellow is arguably the toughest Pokemon game ever. I think it is. I don't know what other game it beats Yellow because everything's just so heightened in that game. Like all the gym leaders are like 5 levels above. Elite 4 is like in the 60s instead of the low 50s. Yeah. It was tough.
I remember really wanting Yellow because I really wanted Pikachu.
Yeah.
And then I found out I could just catch a Pikachu. And I was like, oh, now I for sure want to play Red because then I can get, Charmander and then a Pikachu.
I got Yellow because I wanted all the starters.
How do you get all the starters in Yellow again? You can catch them?
No, they're given to you. So in Cerulean City, you can get Bulbasaur and Charmander. Bulbasaur is in one of the houses, and I think they either just give it to you or you have to do something. And then Charmander is after you cross the Rocket Bridge and beat the 5 rockets, and like the top left corner, that's where you get Charmander. Huh. There's just a trainer who doesn't want Charmander, which I think is supposed to be the whole anime of. Right. And then in Vermilion City, I think Officer Jenny has an extra Squirtle for you.
Oh yeah, because that would for sure be an easy trade-off. Like I would much rather play a harder game, and then you just go out there with Pikachu or Raichu, and then
No. I think it has to be Pikachu.
You can't evolve them.
Yeah. Can you evolve it in Yellow?
I can't remember. For some reason, I don't ever remember.
I'm trying blanks.
And the newest remakes of this generation, which was Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, you can't evolve any of them.
Really?
Yeah. So you get special moves that make them worthwhile. Yeah. Right. And I got Eevee.
Okay.
I never started Eevee. I'm just like, you know what? I can't evolve you. I would rather just have another Eevee. You can just be on my shoulder the entire time. You can be my cheer Pokemon.
Right.
So, let's talk Gen 2 a little bit. Did you play Gen 2 or did you stop at Gen 1?
No, I played Gen 2 very faintly. I probably beat it once or twice.
I think Gen 2 has like my heart and soul.
Because that's gold and silver.
Pun intended,
right?
By the way.
Yeah. Gold and silver, right?
Gold and silver. I really wanted silver, but I for some reason bought gold. I think I just like the gold color.
I think I had both.
And then I bought crystal. And then once I got crystal, I never went back to gold. Because crystal is just, like, to me, the best, far superior game. Until about emerald. But then I think after that, it's preference of which region. But crystal to me was, like, the best game. Mm-hmm. Simply because Johto isn't, like, the greatest. Like, Johto in itself isn't a great region. But Gen 2, where you can go Johto, and then after you're done with Johto, after you beat the, like, Elite 4, oh, you're not done. You gotta train up for Red. So you gotta go through Kanto so you can beat Red. Basically, you have to beat yourself in the first game. Yeah. And I always just like that aspect of it, where like, hey, you did the thing, but you're not done yet. Yep. And it's one of the things that I just wish future Pokemon games let you do. Right. Where you can go to like old regions and still like play through them, but like at full strength. Right. So I really enjoyed Crystal. All right. So let's move on. Do we have any current Pokemon loves like now that we're older in our 30s? Which games like not so much like you go back to, but which games do you play currently? I know Isaac, you're more old school.
Yeah, for sure, old school. I actually, as we're talking, I'm downloading Yellow now and Gold. So nice. I had to download a new emulator. So we'll get those ones knocked out in the next couple of weeks. I'm sure.
Nice.
I don't know. Do you have an Android? Do you have an Android?
Yeah.
So like,
you guys were the reason why I have an Android instead of an iPhone.
Well, good. I'm glad I'm influencing the world to be a better place.
I will say iPhone is like easy to use and it's
really good for our boomer generation.
Yeah. Very good for the older folks. But with Android, I'm like, I want to play Pokemon on my phone.
Yeah, and so every Sunday morning, unless you've turned it off, every Sunday morning I think mine's at 9 o'clock. It gives me an update of my top apps used the previous week and how many hours or whatever. And I think last week was like 16 hours on my Game Boy Advance emulator. Kids go to bed, just watching TV, playing some Game Boy, and knocking it out. And beat Fire Red, I think, in a week. But when you're doing it at double speed in the game, because you get the running shoes, plus the emulator, let's say at double the speed, so you're really running at 4 times.
And if you paid for it, you can go like 4.
Non-cheap. Way too cheap for that. So no paying for the emulator, just the free one. But yeah, the emulator I used to have would let you go at like times 32 speed, which the running shoes you're at like times 64 was actually too much. Like you couldn't control.
Yeah, you're just like
you're just jumping over stuff at random and not being able to do it. But Fire Red for sure. But yeah, I'll beat these two, and then now that I have a little time, I'd like to move up and do some of the newer versions too.
If you get the Switch, if you go Switch, there's 4 big games, right? So there's Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield's, I love the feel and music. We already talked about the music of the gyms. It's such a straightforward game, though. It's literally start finish. It's like going into a disguised hallway. You know, you think everything's open, but really it's not. Once you get DLC, it's more. Yes, Pokemon now has DLC. Once you get into the DLC aspect of it, it's a lot more open. But the initial game, it's like you're going into a closed corridor. Which a couple of the newer games though. So they did also remake Brilliant Diamond or Diamond and Pearl, which I don't know if you guys played Gen 4. It's a pretty good generation.
Yeah.
I stopped after Gen 3. And then like 10 years ago, using an emulator, I played Platinum, which is when we're talking about like the third games, like that's arguably the best of the 4.
Right.
And like Yellow's great. Crystal's great. Emerald is probably everyone's favorite. Like majority's favorite, but Platinum's like low key better than all 4 or all 3 of them. And then they stopped doing the third generation or the third game of it, the Ultimate Edition. I played a little bit of Black and White. Me and you were supposed to have a competition. We never fell through with it. I like the art style of Gen 5, and then I got back into Gen 6 because 3D. And I was a fool back then because I thought 3D was going to be amazing. I don't like 3D, the animation as much. Because the sprites make like some Pokemon look fucking badass. Like Nidoking, Typhlosion. I'm trying to think of other like 2D sprites that just like they look amazing. And then you get the 3D sprites, they're like, oh, this like Typhlosion without its flames doesn't look cool.
Yeah.
Nidoking looks small and bulky. So I'm like, cool looking Pokemon just doesn't look cool. X and Y was really simple. Sun and Moon changed up the formula, where you didn't do any gems, you did trials. It was refreshing, at least I will say. And then they also had lone Pokemon for Gen 1. So like Raichu, for example, was electric psychic.
Oh sure.
Geodude was electric rock. Vulpix was now ice. It's literally just a white Vulpix.
Which looks pretty cool.
It does.
Cool.
It is. When you get the Ninetales, it's like iced fairy. And during Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which is I think a game that I forget to mention. It's very forgettable. It's great to play through once. This is a game where you can't battle Pokemon. When you have to just, it's a throwing mechanic. So any wild Pokemon, you can't battle them. It's like Pokemon Go. You have to throw the ball.
Yeah.
How do you level your Pokemon?
You get experience by catching.
Yeah, that
so
was
it's just Safari Zone.
Kind of.
Basically, I didn't mind it. It wasn't worth $60. Actually,
Safari Zone is fun like 4 times.
Actually, I played it.
Yeah.
I played it 100, or I paid 100 for it actually. Pokeball Plus, great for Pokemon Go, and really cool to play with the controller. That you feel like you're throwing a Pokeball.
The aspect of Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, like, yeah, no battling, just the catching. That's what kind of threw me off of that game.
It's not bad though. I think like because you still battle like your gyms, you still battle the Elite Four. The ride like Pokemon, you can either ride Pokemon or you can have Pokemon be like behind you.
Yep.
Like was a cool aspect, which is a cool aspect of Heart Gold or Soul Silver. one of the best remakes is that game. Like, Isaac, if you can ever get your hands on like a 3DS, Soul Silver Heart Gold is like the game to get.
Are they very similar to like Silver and Gold?
Yes, but like just better.
Sure.
Like updated, remake.
Updated. It's arguably the best game. I have a top 10 list of Pokemon games, and it's number one. Spoiler, that's number one.
Interesting.
The newest game that came out, though, there was also a remake of Diamond and Pearl, which it's cute. It's basically Diamond and Pearl. It's a good game. It's fun. The two newest games, though, went really 3D open world. Was Arceus Legends, which I actually really like. The concept of it was you're just trying to fill out your Pokedex because it's set in the past. The Pokeballs are steam powered, and they're wood. It's wood and steam power.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's actually, I have no idea how it works, but it looks cool. So you go out and you try to sneak up on Pokemon and try to catch them. And each Pokemon, you have to catch them in different ways. But you also have your own health because these Pokemon will try to kill you.
Right.
And what's really cool about it is you can have battles seamlessly from traveling. So like as you're battling, you can move your character up and around. And it was one of the cooler, like, it was slightly different than regular battling, but it's actually a really cool game. There is no gyms, there is no like towns to go to, but the idea is just filling out your Pokedex. So you have to catch like multiple of the same Pokemon. But what's really cool about that aspect of it was that it just refreshed everything.
Right.
And so they tried to do something similar with Violet and Scarlet. And this is the first open world 3D Pokemon game where you didn't have a set path to go on, which I thought was it was cool. The game doesn't look amazing. It looked amazing in parts, but in other parts it was very blah. Right. Like after playing Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, Lost Kingdom, I forget. Tears of the Kingdom, I think it is. You know, playing that on a Switch and then going to Scarlet. Violet. That game looks awful. It's just an awful looking game, but just the idea is really cool.
Yeah.
My ultimate Pokemon game, if I ever make it, would be 3D, where you can go all over the place. Or actually, no, I changed that. I'm gonna make it 2D open world. But each gym you go to there's a leveling like scale to it. So if you go to, let's say if we did this to Kanto, and we decided to do Lieutenant Surge first, right?
Right.
You're like the Raichu you're facing is like level 12.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas if like, oh, I want to face Brock last, you know, you're dealing with a Steelix, an Onix, a freaking Golem. Mm-hmm. You're dealing with like all the rock Pokemon.
That'd be a cool aspect of the game.
Yeah. So I wish they would have done that. I'm like, you could do level scaling. It's not that hard. I did that for a D&D campaign, that Pokemon campaign that I want to do.
Right.
And I have like 32 cities, 32 gyms that you can do. And they all have their own leveling scale to it. I never quite finished it. And then I started working on the story too. I don't know how to do the mechanics. I never played at this point. So, alright. I want to play one quick game with you guys. And then we can end this episode.
I have one more nostalgic thing.
Oh, go for it.
That I feel like we have to bring up and we have to talk about.
Do it.
So, when you're going through the old school, like yellow, red, blue games, you get to Cerulean City, you know, and you're working your way through the town, and you're like, oh, what is this cave over here? I can't get to this. Mm-hmm. And, like, there's other parts of the game, like, you can't get to where they're locked off, and, like you wish you could go through that door, but it's just, like, empty or whatever. But finally being able to, like, go back to that cave to get Mewtwo, great moment of the game.
And no one ever tells you. You just remember. You're like, I can go back.
Yeah, yep.
And then, like, finally catching Mewtwo, and you're like, especially once that movie comes out, you're like, Mewtwo, yes.
Did you guys use the Master Ball?
Yeah.
On Mewtwo?
Yeah.
Have you ever caught him with the Ultra Ball?
I have not.
Well, I might have just get like Articuno.
I think because I remember the first time I played the game, I used the Master Ball. I think on like Articuno or something. and I ended up catching Mewtwo with an Ultra Ball, but man, it takes a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like 99, and I probably had to play through it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, you just Master Ball Mewtwo.
Yeah.
It's the one you need.
Right.
Oh, Mewtwo. Did you guys know that Minnesota is, in canon, part of the Pokemon universe?
I did not know that.
I do actually know that because in Pokemon the first movie, correct? There was a Minnesota reference.
Yeah, Team Rocket dressed up as Vikings to sail across to the island that Mewtwo was on, and Ash was like, "I thought Vikings were only in Minnesota," and like as a kid, you're like, "Wait, what? Minnesota's in the Pokemon world? Hell yeah!" I actually had a thought on this.
To us, we're like, yeah, we're from Minnesota, but like the kids from like different states, like California, they're like,
fuck those kids. They
Minnesota.
got all the references.
yeah,
Man, they got Bayside and located in California. All the schools were located in like California. It seemed like F that. Minnesota never gets referenced. We're like a flyover state.
yeah, basically.
Ooh, could you imagine real life Pokemon at the age of 10? Now we're parents. We're all parents. Could you imagine our kids like when they get to 10, like, all right, out the door you go. You gotta go catch some Pokemon. Bye.
Be safe on your adventure.
I thought about that. Be terrifying.
I joke with Scott all the time with that. I'm like, just so you know, at 10, we're kicking you out. You gotta go catch your own Pokemon. There's a bunch of squirrels in the backyard. You can start with that.
Please let me come with you.
Man, if we just like transport into a Pokemon world and this was a Pokemon world, I'd be so jealous of my kids. I'm like, this is the dream life that I wanted since I was a kid.
I mean, you would think that you could come up with a virtual reality system someday
Oh yeah, it'll be there.
and make it realistic.
I mean, we're already playing a bunch of simulators, just
Right.
not virtual reality.
Right. We'll be there soon.
Have you guys done virtual reality at all?
I haven't, no.
A colleague of mine, way back, actually a few years ago, he has like $1,000 setup. He has like
Which seems like a lot.
seems like a lot. It's freaking dope though, because like he has it set up where like his living room area is like a 6x6 square that you can walk in. And what's really cool about it is like you have your headset, you have your like arms, and you control your arms. But what's really cool is certain games where you're like, if you have like a gun, I did like a gun simulator, and I didn't do any like any of the campaign missions, but it was just kind of like practice. But like if you want to sneak around a door, you didn't just do it like with a remote, because you'd walk using your controller, but like you gotta actually like tilt your body through the virtual doorway, but you're moving it. And there's another game where you're basically Spider-Man, but you have like Gatling guns like you're Batman, but you swing like you're Spider-Man, and you're just platforming your way up into like the highest points, and that's the whole point of the game. It is the most trippiest feeling ever, but you feel like you're Spider-Man.
Virtual reality fails on TikTok is pretty great. You see people throw stuff through a TV.
Oh, I almost punched my friend a few times.
Yeah, yep.
Or just like almost falling through. Yeah, you need the right setup for it. I feel like if you spent that much money on it, though, it wouldn't work. But a virtual reality Pokemon, like throwing the ball and stuff, and
Right.
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Throw it at different angles.
So I have two questions for you. So we're all from Minnesota. Let's pretend Minnesota's in the Pokemon universe. Where are the gyms located?
Where are the gyms located?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty easy. You'd have one in St. Paul, one in Minneapolis.
At least one, if not multiple.
Yeah. I mean, you got 8 gyms.
Well, I mean, 8 gyms is this game universe. I think real universe, anime, there is at least 10 in Kanto.
Okay.
Gary was like, I got 10 badges. I'm like, fuck you, Gary. All right.
Well,
Minneapolis, St. Paul, St. Cloud, Duluth,
Yeah.
Rochester, probably Brainerd.
Brainerd or Bemidji?
I think Brainerd is a bigger draw than Bemidji.
so I mean,
Mankato.
Mankato.
I think Moorhead, just for the fact that you need something up there.
Yep.
Bemidji too, might as well.
just as another quick reference, in the games there was the Pokemon gym that wasn't a Pokemon gym.
Oh, in Saffron, the big city.
The fighting gym.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So there was that one. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you would have to have one in like Minneapolis.
St. Cloud would have to be a rock gym, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the Granite City.
Right. Yeah.
Our minor league baseball team is called St. Cloud Rocks.
So if there was a gym in the Mall of America, what type would that be? Maybe water, since there's Water World, and we're the state of 10,000 lakes.
And then if you have one at Minnetonka, that'd be water.
Yeah.
Or there would have to be a water gym.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know if Valley Fair or not Valley
Well,
Fair.
if you're in Duluth, you got Superior.
Yeah.
So pretty much everywhere has water.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, well, have you been to Illinois? There's not a whole lot of water.
in Minnesota.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Foley, where we're all three from, at least a 10-minute drive to any type of water, unfortunately.
Think about that, though. 10 minutes.
I know.
To get to 3 lakes.
I'm gonna say there has to be a gym in like Lake of the Woods, maybe
Way
like
up north, yeah.
yeah, maybe like grass.
Or is that the
or
Elite
something.
Four?
Could be. Yeah.
Actually, if this was like
Getting there would be similar.
Yeah.
if this is Gen 1 type Pokemon, then Lake of the Woods would be like Elite Four. But if this was like a Pokemon tournament, it has to be like US Bank Stadium.
Right.
If this was like Sword and Shield,
I
that'd
don't
be
know. Have you been to Allianz Stadium? Pretty sweet.
where?
Allianz? Soccer stadium?
That's a soccer stadium.
Oh
That's a pretty
no, I
sweet
haven't been.
stadium.
I want to go there.
It's really cool.
That'd be a cool stadium too. I don't know. I mean, it depends on like the Pokemon draw of this, of like the stadium. That'd be a cool one too. I mean, Target Field, I feel like would be serviceable. I mean, Target Center and XL Energy Center, if that's what they're still called.
Yep.
I mean, any arena would serve,
Right.
but US Bank, I feel like would be the most epic.
I would have a gym out in rural Minnesota with cow and horse Pokemon.
Good Taurus, Ninetales.
Yep.
Rapidash.
And it could actually, like Miltank maybe.
Mudslap, right? No, what's it? What Mudsdale?
Yeah, that's a newer one.
Mudsdale, yeah, Gen 7.
That'd be cool.
That could be a tough gym.
Mudsdale is a tough mon.
Because a lot of those are going to be like normal types that are just
Dude,
like...
Miltank?
Yeah.
Oof. Just roll out on you.
Maybe do like Rhydon.
Yeah.
Alright, I have one more game for you, and then we can start the card opening on the stream. Alright, and let's do like 3 of each. We're going to do pick your starter, but it's going to be random.
Okay.
I can do random all, or I can do just Kanto or Johto.
I think for the nostalgia, I think
Kanto?
we gotta go Kanto maybe.
Alright, who wants first dibs? Who wants first?
I'll pick first.
Alright, Grimer, Scyther, or Kabuto?
Grimer, Scyther, or Kabuto?
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean Scyther.
I think that might be the best pick. Alright, Brian.
Okay.
I already know your answer. Tauros, Chansey, or Ghastly? I'm doing this by random, by the way.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go Ghastly
Yeah,
there.
easily the
Yep.
best.
Yeah. I mean, I think Chansey, there's an argument.
Yeah.
Like, there's an argument. Like, if, let's say if we're all kids running to Professor Oak's and, you know, like, Brian takes Ghastly, we're like, and they're like, all right, you got the second pick. And we're like, all right, I guess Chansey's
But
not
okay,
too bad.
so I'll say this. So I think there's an argument to be made for Tauros, because you said Tauros was in there.
Mhm.
Because when you're first starting out on your journey, what good is Ghastly gonna do? He's gonna like prank you and goof around. you can't ride him.
You can't level him up.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to level him up the best.
I guess.
You could get on the back of a Toro and ride to each and every town, and he is a decent Pokemon.
Could you ride a Ghastly?
I don't think so. I mean, he could pick you up maybe.
Just imagine riding a Ghastly and you're just like, you know, like when you just fall through them.
But do you remember that episode of Pokemon where Ash had to deal with a lot of stuff? I think I might actually go with Tauros for my starter.
All right, Tauros. All right, Isaac, I got another one for you.
Yeah.
Jiggly, or this, I guess Igglybuff would be the first one. Psyduck or Squirtle?
Oh, Squirtle for sure.
Yeah, this is pretty easy. I think it'd be Squirtle. All right, Brian.
I really like triple evolution Pokemon. Like either triple evolution or no evolution.
Right.
The only one that I guess Cleffa technically is a triple, but
that's
not
big.
in the original. So
I feel like that is a case for a 4th evolution one.
yeah, I really, if you're gonna let me evolve 3 times. If I only get to evolve twice, I automatically think you're weaker.
For sure. All right, Brian, you're up.
I think that's fair.
Machop, Weedle, or Shellder?
Machop.
Yeah.
But you have to trade them. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know how these mechanics would work in like a real life situation.
I really wish we could trade on the emulator. That would make me very
You
happy.
can.
Not to like I can't trade to you.
Yeah, you can.
I don't think so.
We figured it out. Me and Brian, right? We figured it out how you do it.
I think so. That was a long time ago.
Well,
but
then we gotta figure that out. 'Cause we got some trading to
I
do.
think you can. It's just it's complicated because
Okay.
we figured out a way to battle, and we did that on our trip to San Francisco, Oregon. Like we played hard, and then we never actually did it, but we knew we
right.
traded a few.
I mean, if I had to settle for just having him a choke, I think he's still a solid Pokemon.
Over
Second evolution.
Yeah.
Cloyster though.
Yeah, I think I want the choke on my team.
All right, last one, Isaac. Ooh, this okay. I like the fact that we ended on this one. So Squirtle again, Eevee, or Magikarp.
Probably still going Squirtle.
I think that's the right choice, but
Man, I really like Gyarados though.
like Magikarp would be a horrible starter.
Right.
It would be a horrible starter.
Yeah, you can't attack.
You're just like, all right, I'm just gonna randomly throw Pokeballs at any fucking thing that moves out in the wild. Pidgey, Caterpie.
All right, because you would forfeit him until essentially you get EXP share because he died. Like I had a level 30 Magikarp that has like 40 health.
Yeah,
Like-
one hit out.
Yeah.
Eevee would be a great second pick though.
Quick side note: you guys ever accidentally not evolve your monster the first time playing and thought that you screwed it up?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like when you're
Or you hit B or something. Or
yeah, your Charmeleon's going to Charizard and you accidentally cancel it and you're like, oh no,
You're just
I
freaking
can't
out.
ever get Charizard now.
I had a playthrough once where I never evolved a single, which is perfectly fitting for Don't Evolve Me.
Yeah.
I didn't evolve my Squirtle.
So
You just get torched though.
Nah, I had a level 100 Squirtle kicking ass.
So that was actually an aspect of the game that I wish they would have actually like developed more, like having more of a benefit of not evolving the Pokemon, like making them faster or more elusive, you know?
Sure.
Because I mean, like if you had a Squirtle or like a Pikachu that was like really fast, like that thing in real life would be hard to hit, you know?
All right, Brian, I'm trying to find another good one for you. I'm actually clicking through. I'm like, I need a good one. All right, last one. This one's not bad. Male Nidoran, Tentacool, or Eevee?
I think I'll go with Eevee for a starter. Because I can eventually you can evolve them into any type, basically.
Yeah, versatility. That would be tough. I would be like, Nidoran male, Nidoran would be like the one I would want to go to. But
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh.
Well, man, as a starter though, both of them require a stone to evolve.
Yeah, you can
So
evolve
you need
it.
to go through 4 gyms before you get to Celadon?
That would be tough.
If that's the case, right?
Right,
you're in
if that's the
Palatown.
case.
And if that's the only way you can get a stone.
Right. Which I'm thinking nostalgia.
Yeah, in the game.
Man, that'd be tough starting with Eevee.
Yeah, that's true.
Who are you gonna beat with Eevee? That's
Not
like that's
Brock.
'cause
So,
that's
so
the
is
thing.
Tentacool the better pick then?
I would probably take.
He's very
Nidoran,
underrated, Nidoran. Well, yeah, you
just because then you get fighting.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
drown to Misty.
By then you'd hope you have.
Pikachu.
You can get the Moonstone by then though.
You can get a Moonstone earlier.
Yeah, you still
I
get.
think
drowned.
you get one pretty early.
Yeah, I think Nidoran would be the more stronger starter to go with, but in terms of like companionship and stuff, I'd probably go Eevee.
Yeah, Eevee's hard.
You'd have to catch
Sleep on
some.
it.
You'd have to catch some other Pokemon to help you out for sure.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
fair.
I want you. All right. Last thing. I want you to. You don't have a generator. Just give me 3 that I have to choose from.
Give you 3. Okay.
Make it difficult.
Mr. Mime.
Okay.
Abra. No, I don't want to do that one.
Yeah, you. I have an Alakazam sitting right in front of me.
Make it tough. Let's make it tough. Bad.
Yeah.
Mr.
Tough.
Mime
Tangela.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
And Pinsir.
Ooh.
Pinsir doesn't evolve, right?
No.
Didn't think so.
No, here's the thing, though. I think Mime is the worst one out of all of it. Mime straight up, though, is not bad. But it's creepy as fuck. I would not pick a Mime. Like if let's say like I was late like Ash and Mime was left, I'd be like, all right, fine, come on, Mr. Mime, Mime. Like, please close your eyes. Like when I sleep, look the other way. Wake up and I
Your
can't even move.
companionship will be you outside.
So what was the other 2 again? Tangela and
Pinsir.
Pinsir. So you said he can't evolve. He can evolve. Mega evolve.
Well, not in Kanto, we said.
Not in Kanto, right? Like they don't go by their rules. Tangela can also evolve to Tangrowth,
I forgot about that.
who is actually kind of baller. So it's between Tangler and Pinsir.
Should have said Topeka.
Well, what?
Topeka.
Togepi?
Togepi.
Topeka?
Which doesn't Togepi evolve into Topeka?
Togetic.
Yep.
And then Togekiss.
That's
And
actually a good Pokemon.
Togekiss is amazing. I'm taking Togepi all the way. Togetic isn't even bad. I did play through with Togepi. I'm torn between Tangela and Pinsir. I think I'll go with Tangela. I think I can get by with Tangela. Grass type.
We should have said Farfetch'd.
Is
I
it
have a Farfetch'd in my lineup right now.
Is it Galarian Farfetch?
No. Right.
Damn. Galarian Farfetch turns into Surfetch, and Surfetch is amazing. Surfetch was my Mon in Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Him and Bolton. Best boy ever. I don't know why. I don't even have a dog, but I like dog type Pokemon. It's just fun.
Yeah.
And in the Paldean region, they have like 3 main dogs. One's like literally just dough. I forget Dosh Buns. You get Dosh Buns. Dosh Buns, and then you have a. It's like based off a mafia boss. And then and then Gravehound, which is literally just a dead dog. Who's like the best one out of the 3?
If Haley was a Pokemon trainer, she would have all dog Pokemon.
And she'd do really well.
Yep.
Wait, do you call Eevee as a dog?
I think you could.
It's a fox.
Yeah. Dog and fox Pokemon are kind of the same.
And then you have Vulpix those in too.
Yep.
It's tough. I don't know. There's a lot of like
Houndour.
Yep.
Houndour would be
And
good.
there's the legendary dogs too.
Isn't there one that starts with an R?
One's like a cat. Raikou looks like a cat.
Raikou, yeah, kind of.
All right. You guys have anything else before we end this nostalgia episode?
No.
No, I don't think so.
This went by fast. We did like 2 hours already. We did a draft and then we talked about it.
Yep.
So, all right. Thanks for listening. This is Pokemon Video Game Nostalgia Pokemon Edition. Thanks for listening. Check us out because we're going to be doing a Don't Involve Me poll on which team, because we did a draft before this. Which team is better, Isaac, Brian, or myself? Let us know. All right. We're out. Oh, wait. I fucked this up last time. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks,
You're
Jake.
welcome.
All right. Now we're